Welcome on down to another episode of PB&J. We're here with Detective BeBeau. How you doing, Detective?
I am doing wonderful.
All right, let's go ahead and take a swig of our juice before we get started. All right, so, everyone knows who you are. You're kind of the Batman of the town. But actually, a lot of people don't know much about you in general. So let's start off with your, how you started off, maybe some of your training and schooling that led you to where you are today.
Okay. That should be easy enough. I was born and raised here in Ashland. My father, Stan, was a police officer for the Ashland Police Department back in the 1960s. He left the department to pursue his dream of becoming a teacher, which he ultimately did. I graduated from Ashland High School way back in 1982, and at that time I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my future.
Okay.
So I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. I shipped out for boot camp in the fall of '82, and I served 3 years active duty in the Marine Corps. And it was pretty much during that time in the Marine Corps where I decided there was two professions that I wanted to pursue once I became a civilian again. And those were either I wanted to be a police officer or I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay. Big difference.
Well, I looked at it from the standpoint that either profession I was going to be helping somebody.
Good point.
I could help people on the law enforcement end, or I could be a teacher and teach kids.
What age were you looking to teach if you were going to teach?
I was looking K through 8th grade maybe, but it didn't really matter.
So Officer BeBeau might have been like, I want your homework tomorrow, and you would have said, okay.
So the result was when I was discharged from the Marine Corps in 1985, I enrolled at the University of Wisconsin-Superior, UWS, and I started taking classes there, in both fields, the teaching and the law enforcement or criminal justice program. And it wasn't long after I was a student there where I saw an ad in the Ashland Daily Press for an opening on the Ashland Police Department. I thought I had nothing to lose at that point, so I applied. And long story short, I was offered the position of patrolman.
Okay.
And I began my career here on December 1st of 1986.
Wow, that's a long journey. So we're going to go ahead and move on and talk a little bit about some of the crime that's going on in Ashland right now. And I know there's been some burglaries, some vandalism, and then just a few other just amazing things like car bombs and so forth and so on. Can we talk a little bit about that? What would you like to share?
Sure. It's been kind of a unique summer so far. We have experienced a car bombing, which has been a first in my career.
Was it a single car bombing?
Yes. Right now, we had a couple of cars that ended up on fire, but it appears that only one of them was as the result of a car bomb.
Okay.
For what they call as a Molotov cocktail. We did work that case, and we did resolve it, and we have issued criminal charges against one adult. The other crimes, property crimes, we're seeing are anything from minor thefts to burglaries. But keep in mind now, burglary is any entering of somebody's personal property, whether it's locked or unlocked. So a burglary can be to a car, a burglary can be to a shed, a garage, a home, a business. And we have seen an increase in the last few months of those types of property crimes. Things that are getting stolen are things that I believe are easy to get rid of, easy to sell or fence, if you will. We're seeing things like MP3 players, cell phones, cell phone adapters, GPS units from cars, laptops, purses, wallets, any kind of spare change that you might leave in the console of your car, cigarettes. To the businesses that have been victims of burglaries, they're pretty much targeting cash, any startup money that's left for the next day, cartons of cigarettes. The homes that have been broken into, it's been a variety. One home, a canner, a briefcase. Then there's been Xboxes.
So it's a wide range of different things. It doesn't seem to be connected in any way.
Correct.
Okay. And would you say it's the younger generation coming up that's doing this, or is it outsiders coming in, people who don't actually live here? Can we really pin it down to one source, or is that hard to say?
It's real difficult to pinpoint. If I had to guess, I would say that some of our, and I don't want to use the word petty, but our break-ins to vehicles, I believe, are the younger group, community members. Some of our burglaries that are happening to our businesses, that's a tough one to call. They could be people that are passing through, or a ring of burglars that just decided to target this area, and then they move on. It's really hard to say.
And in today's interconnected society with the internet and phone and so forth and so on, emails, is it safe to say that Ashland Police Department is very well connected with lots of other agencies as well?
Absolutely, it is. Since 9/11, that's the big thing has been communication with other agencies, not only throughout the state but nationwide. It's we like to think global but act local.
Okay.
We have a records management system in place right now where we share our records with Bayfield County Sheriff's Department, Washburn Police Department, Bad River Police Department, Ashland County Sheriff's Department. We all share the same record system.
Okay.
So we're able to log on every morning and read what's happening in those other communities and other jurisdictions, and we're able to see if any of the crimes that they're experiencing may tie into the same crimes that we're experiencing. And they have the same luxury as well.
Just talking about the future, what are some things that the average citizen can do to help protect themselves against burglaries, whether it be in their car, their home, so forth and so on, and just in general?
Well, the message we've been trying to get across is please lock your doors, not only on your vehicles, but on your homes and your garages and any outbuildings that you might have. Don't leave valuables visible. I would recommend don't leave valuables in your car, period.
Okay.
But if you do, get them out of sight. It's not uncommon nowadays for the bad guy to look in car windows, and if they see something that they want, like a laptop computer or a purse or a wallet or a GPS, it's not uncommon that they'll break out one of the rear windows to gain access.
Have car alarms been effective, do you think?
They have been. I recall interviewing a suspect on a number of car break-ins, and I was told that they didn't go near cars that had the little blue blinking light.
The blue, the red, the green, the,
Right.
the light blinking.
Apparently that indicates that that car is alarmed.
Mm-hmm.
They tended to stay away from those vehicles.
Okay.
So I think they probably are effective.
Mm-hmm.
As far as your home, lock your doors and your windows, especially when you're not there. And I wouldn't hesitate to consider installing some sort of an alarm system
Okay.
in your own home. There's a number of alarms that are available.
Mm-hmm.
They're relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, if you can't afford an alarm, think about a hunting trail camera or something, a trail cam to put up.
Mm-hmm. So cameras, how about maybe dogs? I know people sometimes use large dogs or dogs in general as a deterrent.
Well, a dog is always a good thing to have. Just the barking alone can sometimes dissuade a would-be burglar.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I would prefer an alarm system with a camera type system.
Mm-hmm.
That helps us even more because we can obtain some video footage of the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
We can identify who they are, and we can resolve the issue.
How about neighborhood watch? I know, there's been some in the past. I'm not sure if there's any active ones now. Do you think that could help in general?
I think the neighborhood watch program could be very valuable. Be a great tool. I love to see neighbors helping neighbors and watching each other's back. I encourage people to call 911 no matter what time.
Mm-hmm.
Our department is fortunate. We're 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
We always have somebody available. Don't be afraid to call, even if it's just 2, 3 in the morning, somebody walking through the alley.
Mm-hmm. So what you're trying to say is the 911 is not just for an emergency. Say if like your son is choking on a marble, it could be just if you have a suspicion that there's someone peeking through windows or in someone's yard or something like that. Call
Exactly.
911.
We encourage people to call 911, and they said no. They just hollered at them, and the person ran away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are the type of situations where we would like to get a call.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we may not catch the bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
You never know, we might come across them.
Well, if someone sees somebody doing something, instead of getting them out of there, you always have someone on duty. They could swing by and maybe catch that person in what they're doing.
Exactly.
Instead of having them just run off and they'll come back later when no one's around.
Right.
Well, we've been talking with Officer BeBeau, Lieutenant Detective BeBeau, from the Ashland Police Department, and our sponsor for today's show is actually my sister, Jenny DiPlacido. She is a representative for Vivint Alarm Systems. I'm going to put her information at the end of this video. Feel free to give her a call or an email, and she'll be happy to talk with you more about it. So, thank you so much, Officer BeBeau.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.